Formula One is a sport of fine margins. 0.1 seconds can be the difference in qualifying. Races can now only be won with the optimum strategy, and even the tiniest mistakes can make a world of difference in a close championship fight. And with millions of dollars at stake, the last thing teams want to do is lose points because of their two own drivers crashing into each other. F1 drivers are extremely competitive and will do anything to beat their teammate, especially if their contract is at stake. So, the teams have a decision to make. Do they let their drivers race and risk them crashing into each other? Or do they prioritize one driver over the other and risk one of them being unhappy? Well, that's where number 1 and 2 drivers come in. Like I said before, F1 drivers are fiercely competitive and do anything to win. If you have two evenly matched drivers on a team, it can be quite a headache to deal with. Think back to the tense relationship between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg during the years as teammates, fighting for championships. There was a lot of tension between them, which caused many controversial incidents. Rosberg announced his retirement from F1 5 days after winning his first world championship in 2016. He was only 31 and was in the prime of his career. He could no longer cope with the mental strain of fighting with a driver as good as Hamilton is. Rosberg was burned out, he lost a desire to compete, and he knew he could probably never beat Hamilton again. Hamilton, meanwhile, has looked stronger than ever, winning the last 2 championships. His teammate, Valtteri Bottas, hasn't really challenged Hamilton or been a rival of his. Bottas has mainly played a support role to Hamilton rather than fighting for wins and championships. During the Russian Grand Prix, Bottas, who was leading the race, was ordered to slow down and let Hamilton through to victory. Bottas' support role to Hamilton gave him the nickname Wingman, highlighting the extreme methods that Mercedes take to make sure that Hamilton gets the best result, which usually means completely ruining Bottas' race. Even Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff called him a sensational wingman. What's weird is that this year Mercedes have been the most willing to give out team orders, even though historically Ferrari are notoriously ruthless when it comes to swapping their drivers. The most famous example of this was the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix, where Rubens Barrichello famously moved over on the last corner of the last lap to let Michael Schumacher win. The order by Ferrari to switch Barrichello and Schumacher was completely unnecessary, not only because of how it was executed, but also why Ferrari decided to let Schumacher win the race in the first place. Coming into the race, Schumacher had won 4 of the first 5 races of the season. He already had a tight grip on the championship with a 20-point lead, almost double the points of his closest rival Juan Pablo Montoya. But this time, it was his teammate Rubens Barrichello who was on form, setting the fastest lap in qualifying and taking pole position. It stayed that way for most of the race, with Barrichello leading and Schumacher in second. But with 8 laps to go, Ferrari ordered Barrichello to slow down and let Schumacher through. Those last few laps saw Barrichello have a harsh argument with the Ferrari pit wall over the radio. But Barrichello could not do anything about it because he signed a new contract with Ferrari and he had no choice but to follow team orders because his place in the team would be in jeopardy if he didn't. The fact that Barrichello let Schumacher through on the last lap didn't help either. The crowd was very angry and booed even during the national anthems. Schumacher, clearly embarrassed, gave his winning trophy to his teammate and let him go to the top step of the podium. But this violated strict podium procedures, and Ferrari were fined $1 million. 15 years after the incident, Ross Brawn, who was a key person at Ferrari, even admitted that the decision was a mistake. This outrageous incident caused the FIA to ban team orders at the end of the 2002 season. However, this didn't stop teams from secretly carrying out team orders. Many teams use coded messages to tell their drivers to switch positions. During the 2010 German Grand Prix, Ferrari were running first and second. Felipe Massa's race engineer infamously stated, "Fernando is faster than you." This is an example of the coded messages that the teams used to tell their drivers to swap positions. In this case, Fernando Alonso was the team's prioritized driver who was in the championship battle. So, Ferrari wanted to make sure that he won to give him the maximum points. FIA realized it would be impossible to stop teams from giving orders to their drivers and lifted the ban on team orders at the end of 2010. In my opinion, team orders are fine, but should only be used when absolutely necessary. Swapping the positions of drivers happens all the time, most commonly when the two drivers on a team have different race strategies. But things start to get ridiculous when the teams swap their drivers for no reason, like what we saw with Mercedes in Russia this year, or with Ferrari in 2002. That's where you have to draw the line between swapping driver positions for strategic reasons and just swapping positions so the favored driver can win. Formula 1 is an individual sport, but there is a team aspect to it also. Teams can't just be one main driver supported by another secondary driver. Take a sport like basketball. Sure, there are star players and team leaders, but every player has an important role on the team. They're not only there to help the best player succeed. While it is understandable that driver roles on an F1 team can't be 100% equal, there can't be a driver having a support role all the time. Team orders have been in Formula 1 for a long time and are here to stay. The only way to eliminate team orders and driver prioritization is to completely eliminate teams altogether, and that will never happen. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel, Kids Love F1, where you can see many of the other videos that I've done. I'm really trying to work on some more content, so be sure to look out for some more videos coming. Thanks for watching, and bye.